G'day, it's Josh here. Welcome to another episode of The People of Music. I'm super excited today. I'm down in Brisbane and I'm going to have a chat to Al, who drums for Furnace, Bloom Parade and DEATHBED. Got a couple other things going on the side, fill-ins and so forth, but I really am looking forward to getting to know a bit more about Al's story, and I hope you enjoy hearing how he's got to where he is at the moment. G'day Al.
Hey man, how are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad at all.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, no worries at all, man. Thanks for driving down.
What have you been up to?
Mainly just been working, a lot of uni as well, and just like lots of band stuff as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, who are you playing with now?
So I played, DEATHBED, Furnace, and Bloom Parade.
Jeez, that's massive.
Yeah.
How do you fit time in?
Barely fit time in, man.
And uni?
Yeah.
And are you working?
Yeah, I'm working as well, part-time as well.
Yeah, wow. Cafe or around here?
Just down the road at the Woolworths.
Yeah, true. Check out Chick?
No, I'm stock boy. Yeah,
right. Do you do that after hours? Is it like...
No, I do it during the day on like my free days off from uni.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Unreal. Well, where did it all start? Where did you grow up?
So I was born in Kenya, but when I was 3, my parents moved to South Africa. So from 3 to 10, I just lived in South Africa, just living a good life there.
What made them move from Kenya?
My dad got a job at the hospital
in
South Africa.
What was he doing?
He was doing orthopedic surgery back then.
Wow.
I think he's kind of chopped and changed what he does in the medical field. But yeah, he got a job doing some orthopedic surgery.
Okay.
So he moved down for a couple of months first while my mum and I stayed in Kenya. And then once he got like everything all sorted, like found a house and all that, we'll move down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then what brought about the move from South Africa to Australia?
He got another job
again.
Yeah. Initially when we first moved here, we lived in Bundaberg for like 8 months.
Okay.
Terrible place.
Yeah.
I just went to school there, finished like year 5 equivalent in Queensland, because you guys start a year earlier. I had to do like half a year of year 5 when I first moved to Canberra again.
And then was it straight from Bundy to Brisbane?
No, I moved to Canberra after that, so
right.
I've been all over Australia.
Yeah, wow.
So I spent 7 years in Canberra, give or take. Yeah.
When did you leave Canberra? How old were you?
I just turned 18, so I was turning 19, so 2012.
And where are your parents right now?
They live in Melbourne.
Wow, jeez, that move.
Yeah, they can't stay.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
Only child.
Only child. Yeah, right. So what was it like growing up in your family, say in South Africa from what you remember, and in Australia? Like musically? Were your parents listening to contemporary stuff?
Yeah, man. My mum is pretty young. She's only 22 years older than me. So when I lived in South Africa, she was like listening to what was like essentially like cool music back then. It's like heaps of soul music, heaps of R&B, a little bit of hip hop here and there. My dad would just like listen to whatever he felt like. Used to be like a lot of like African music.
Okay.
Wasn't ever really for me. Yeah.
Where was your mum sourcing it? Like when you say R&B, like was it more just American?
Yeah, like predominantly American stuff. The music in South Africa is pretty cool, man. Like they had like a huge variety of music networks that you could just like listen to. So she was like pretty tuned into that stuff as well. So so I'd get like a lot of Whitney Houston, a lot of Tony Braxton, like Queens of Soul sort of stuff. And like a little bit of Mariah Carey, but she also listened to heaps of Michael Jackson, a little bit of Snoop Dogg here and there. Yeah.
That's sick. What was your like first recollection of like a band or a singer or something that you...
It was definitely Linkin Park. That was like a huge gateway band for me. I remember like staying up late one night and just like watching MTV and Headbangers Ball came on and there was a Linkin Park track. I think it was Close to the Edge. Yeah. Right. And I just caught the video clip and I was like, this is so sick.
How old were you then?
I think I was around like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So
early.
Yeah, I got my mum to find me a bootleg cassette.
Yeah,
and I just listened to it on a little tape deck.
That's
just like
sick.
thrashed it over and over and over again.
And then what from there? What else? Did you go and like try and find them on MySpace?
No, not really, man. For a while it was just like Linkin Park. They had like 2 CDs at the time. They had not Meteora, they had Hybrid Theory and Reanimation, like the cut up version of that. By the time like Meteora rolled through, I was living in Australia, so I was like listening to that. And then I met some kids in high school, like really good friends of mine back then, who just kind of like helped me find like my musical direction from there.
Yeah,
it's like lots of Slipknot, lots of Metallica, just like
heavier stuff.
Yeah.
When, like, say through teenage years, were you just like pretty focused on heavier? Or
Yeah,
were you,
for sure.
Like, because I know I went through that stage, like 13 to 15, 16, where you'd listen to your parents' stuff, and then you're like, nah, I'm too cool for that. I'm going to do my own thing.
It's like sort of soon as I was like shown like these heavy bands, especially like the Australian hardcore bands, like as soon as my friend Lucas came to school and he was like, yo, you gotta listen to this band, Parkway Drive. To a record with Prom Queen, and I was like, wow, this is insane. Like I'd never heard music like that before. This like huge vocals, these big breakdowns. Like it was like such a like dramatic shift for me. Yeah, man. So I just listened to that like non-stop until I turned like 16, 17 before like I actually started like experimenting with music.
And then what were you using? Like, was that still like Facebook, MySpace area?
Yeah, it was MySpace area. A big help was Crafty used to run like a message board back in the day, and bands would just post all of their stuff on there. So I was just like finding new music like daily. Like someone would be like, oh, new band from Melbourne, or new band from Sydney, new band from Perth.
And were you still living in Canberra?
Yeah, I was still living in Canberra. Yeah. So, but bands would like tour pretty frequently back then, and you just get a chance to like see all these like different acts coming through.
Were you going and seeing, like, say when Parkway would come to town, you go and see them, or were you going to like legit local shows?
I was doing local shows as well. Yeah. My friend had an older brother who was like pretty in tune with the scene at the time, so we'd like go along to like all ages shows. So that was really cool. Yeah.
And that was still pretty common in Canberra.
Yeah, it was still pretty common at the time.
Rare,
yeah. I haven't like really kept up with the Canberra scene to be honest, but back then like it was pretty cool. Like you'd catch a show like every now and then. Yeah.
When did you move from Canberra?
In 2012.
Yeah, right. So not long ago. What made you do that? Was that to go to uni?
My dad got another job up here at the Ipswich Hospital, so I came up with him and I just like started doing uni up here too. So when my parents left again, I just decided to stay up here and just like finally finish uni.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, found a place that kind of felt like home, sort of thing.
And then how did you have any mates that you'd met through music down south that you kind of started hanging out with up here?
Yeah, for sure. Josh Howes, he did That's Grip, like the label. He moved up to Brisbane around the same time I did. Okay. So that was like a huge thing for me as well. Yeah, kind of helped me not feel so isolated in such a big city.
Yeah, fully. What local bands were kicking around then? Like in Brizzy.
On Brizzy?
So when you come up, like if you were going to go to a local show, do you remember who you
see? Like Sick People were definitely like a big band back when I was here. When I first moved up, it was Third Strike's like final show. So I came up here and I was like, this is actual chaos. Like, it was like an actual bonkers show. Yeah. What local bands were around? Definitely Sick People were like one that I caught a lot. Manhunt just started up as well with Alex Italo. Yeah, right. Hard to think back to the times.
A lot of bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands, but
when did the, say, like passion for music, when did that transfer to, I'm going to play an instrument, or I want to learn an instrument?
I always kind of had instruments around me. I learned guitar when I lived in South Africa, but that was like never for me. Like it was just something I had. Like I think everyone plays guitar on one stage. True. But when I was in year 9, my friends were talking about like doing a band. And no one could ever play drums. So I was like, you know what, I'll play drums, it's fine. Yeah. And I took some lessons. Always had like the natural rhythm for it, but I never like was good enough to like do it. So I started taking lessons just to kind of help me cement.
External from school?
Yeah, external from school.
Yeah, right. What kind of person were you going to? Like, was he a metalhead or was he?
He was like a stock jazz drummer. Yeah, so it was really cool. So like I learned how to play like like Latin fusion. He was a stickler for my rudiments as well. Just like a traditional, just like drum teacher. Yeah.
How long did you see him for?
Maybe like a year, just give or take. Yeah, then at that point I was like, I think I kind of got this under control. Like I'd take some lessons like here and there again, like all the way throughout high school for like 6 months at a time. just to make sure like I was kind of moving in the right direction. But once you get to that point where you're like, I don't kind of need to teach, I can teach myself from here.
Yeah. Were you playing at home?
Yeah, I had my kit set up at home.
Okay.
My neighbours probably hated it, but yeah.
Would you just put a CD in and play along?
Yeah,
to that,
for
do
sure.
that style?
The Ghost Inside was like a huge one for me.
Yeah,
just playing along to that.
When did you join your first band? Like, say, a band that played a show?
Yeah, I was in year 11, 12, so I was like 17, 18, just turning 18.
Okay.
I started a band with one of the guys I used to be in high school with and just like two local hardcore guys.
Yeah.
Owen, who used to sing in Venomize and just played Hygiene as well.
Okay.
He played guitar, and this other guy who graduated from my high school played bass.
What kind of stuff were you doing?
It was like power violence. Yeah, it was so sick, man. Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
Not too long, unfortunately. I had to move up here, so yeah.
And then what's the progression since you've moved to Brizzy? Like, say the bands that you're in now, which one came first?
So I think Furnace actually came first out of all the bands I've been doing in Brisbane. Furnace was the first one, then Deathbed, then Blue Parade was the...
How did Furnace kick off?
Cody had some riffs he saved up on like his MacBook, and he was like talking to Dominic about like doing a band. Dominic just wanted to sing in a band for forever, and he was like chatting about it, and then Mike, myself, and Dan were like, let's just do this band. Yeah. And then it just happened. 6 months later we had a demo out. Kind of cool.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Where are you guys jamming?
We jam Via now, just like up the road.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So from those riffs, how do you turn? Like, do you go in with the guitarist and jam, try and get structures of songs?
Cody was like a freak, man. He just had like full
like
demos pre-bowed. Yeah, he
drums,
just like
bass.
he just kind of had the knack for it. So just pumped out these songs and we were like, oh, that's not quite it, but that's it. Yeah, and then demo was done.
That's sick. And
probably like the most efficient.
Do you come in? Would you change many of the beats? Like
there was definitely stuff that we would be like, that doesn't sound like the way a real person would play it, and we fix up certain bits and like just make it feel the way a band should play it.
Okay.
Versus how it sounds to a computer.
And then, so Furnace, you've been like cruising along, playing shows, like you got a pretty big show coming up soon.
Yeah, Trailers, yeah.
And then, when did Deathbed?
Deathbed was something Mike and I had talked about doing for like a very long time. It was like, just like one of those things where you just keep talking about doing, like, I want to do this
just
sort of
style-wise?
Just style-wise. We just wanted to play like old metalcore, hardcore sort of sound, like real Monterey D-ish stuff.
Stuff.
So we jammed like a couple of times, just me and him, and we're like, this is sick, like we should actually fully do this. It just took like a really long time to find the right components. Like Dan stepped up and played guitar. Who was playing bass originally? I think Keldon just offered to play bass, and then we got Gith to jump in and sing. Yeah, and then it just kind of all clicked. Yeah.
How long from like that first idea, original jam, to like first show? Maybe
like 2 years.
Yeah, right. That's ages.
It took a long while.
Because you were all doing other stuff.
Yeah, all doing other bands. Like obviously we stopped for a little while Furnace kind of got its stuff together to record, and then we jumped back straight into it, and then we had a bunch of songs and we were like, this isn't quite it. So we scrapped like a lot of that, rewrote bits, and then when we recorded it, we were super proud of it. Yeah, that was the demo.
How did you choose where to record? We always found that pretty hard.
Oh man, recording is such a hassle here, but Chris Brownbill has just like always been the guy. He used to do some distortion, so I always like saw that studio there, and I watched Machine Genova come up here and track like the 10-inch.
Was that when he was at West End?
Yeah, that was when he was. No, that was when he was in Albion.
Okay.
Yeah, just where Sun Distortion was.
Yeah.
And just like watching him, he was like a maestro as well.
Yeah.
He also did that band Idols. I think he still might be doing it too. And that first record, that first record he recorded, I still think is like one of the best things that's ever come out of Brisbane.
And he was doing he did a lot of Shackle stuff.
Yeah, does a ton of Shackle stuff. Yeah. So he was just kind of like the guy in the know. He met up with us, like he had a chat to us, like sat down with us, like really kind of like wanted to actually be a part of it. Like, so that was like a huge factor as well. Like he seemed like super involved in it. And we're super, super, super happy with how it came out.
How'd you track that? Like
Those first,
that release?
yeah.
Were you doing drums, bass?
Yeah,
guitars,
we just
vocal?
multi-tracked it. No click, just pumped the song.
Feel,
So,
yeah, cool. It works pretty well, I reckon.
Yeah, sometimes like
capture the energy a bit more.
There's a bit of like push and pull to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you get like a guitarist in the room with you, I reckon the vibe is
so much better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
So then, like you've been killing it in that band as well. How did Bloom Parade? What made you think, right, I'm gonna?
Mitch was doing Bloom Parade when he lived in Byron. Like he just dropped a song. I listened to it. I was like, this is so sick. Like it's a band that I've always wanted to do. Like I've always been like a big fan of bands like Something for Kate, and that was exactly what it sounded like. And Toy Boats as well was obviously a huge influence too. So he said he was moving up to Brisbane, and I was like, this is my chance to finally do this band. Maybe I'll hassle him into letting me join. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I shot him a message, and I was like, you want to make this band like a real thing? Yeah.
How do you find like going to practice with Furnace, then going to practice with Deathbed, then going to practice with Bloom Parade? Do you use the same gear?
Yeah, roughly the same gear. The goodness with Furnace and Deathbed is Mike, Dan, and I are still like core members in that band. So two people just like swap and change, and then we just do the band. So it's like the same people, same crew, same like ideas. Bloom Parade is a lot easier, I think. There's a lot less like aggression that needs to go into it. You just kind of show up and you play the music, get a feel for it, like kind of bathe in the atmosphere. Yeah. That's
before I was with this Endless band now, I played in like a 6-piece instrumental, so like
cool.
a mono explosion style. And I used to love it. So we had 2 drummers, 3 guitarists, a bass player.
Yeah.
But playing a show was like completely different, like because you kind of had this space and there's time, so you get a chance to look around and listen to what the guitarist is doing, properly, like a little hook or a nice little lead.
Yeah, get like the harmonies and everything, like really.
Whereas when you're doing heavier stuff, it's more like you just worry about playing what you need to play, like as quick as you can, or as intense. Watching the crowd and then trying to hear yourself or hear the guitar.
Yeah, for sure. I think that perfectly.
What do you reckon, like scene wise, and say, like, have you had mentors? I know you mentioned Housey before. Have you got, I don't know, a crew, or is there other dudes that you kind of go to for guidance or support?
No, not really, man. Housey was definitely like a big part when I first moved up here. He kind of had like everything sorted out for himself then. Maybe he still does now. But like he graduated uni, and like I was like, oh, this is kind of like the guy I kind of hoped I'd be, like his age. Just like a dude who pumped out uni, got himself a job, and moved somewhere. So seeing that, I was like, oh, this could definitely be me as well. Still like active in the scene, still like kind of getting on with your life. Yeah.
Do you reckon, like say hardcore in particular, what kind of impact does it have on your life? Do you think differently? Do you look at things from a different perspective?
For sure. I think hardcore kind of opened up my eyes and like made me a little bit more realistic about the way things should happen. Like obviously everyone's got like not everyone, but there's a sort of like negative attitude that kind of comes with certain aspects of hardcore. Yeah. But it can kind of just like make you wake up and realize, oh, maybe everything's like not as grand as it should be. So just kind of like
bit grounding.
Yeah, kind of cut out a lot of the filler and just do what you need to do.
Yes. Yeah. If you could offer one bit of advice, say like for a young person, boy or girl, 14, 15 years old, wanting to get into music, like from what you've learnt, what would you say to them? How do they go about it?
Just go to shows, like that's really it. Yeah. I couldn't have had more fun through like my teenage years and just going to shows, making friends, people who like are united in like the same sort of atmosphere as you is so like, it's truly like a revelation. Like the first time I went to a show, I was like, there's so many people here and they all just care about this one thing that's happening right in front of you. Yeah. So it's nice to kind of like be surrounded by a ton of like-minded people. Yeah. So just go to shows. Yeah, get involved. Yeah, for sure. Buy a record, listen to it. Yeah, support the local bands, support everyone. Thanks heaps, Al. Yeah, no worries. I really appreciate your time. No worries. Thanks for coming on. No problem. Thank you for having me. We're starting broken from the start.